Welcome, my beautiful souls. So, what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath and tune into your intuition because today, Spirit has a message that's meant just for you. Uh, Three choices, three paths. So, which one is calling your name? By the way, this is what we call pick a card, but here it's pick a pal. So, which one is calling your name? Um, I feel like romantic, transformative, mystical. I'm feeling all of those energies. So, your higher self will speak your message to you today. Just know that. That's why you want to make sure you're listening to your intuition. Um, and then just decide pal one, pal two, or pal three. And by the way, this happens almost every time. More than one reading because they're going to be their own separate readings. But then usually what we find is they come together in such a beautiful way, like where they together are telling their own story. So don't worry if, like you pick one, but then you listen to two and you're like, that's one I should have chosen. If your intuition is feeling it, don't put that pressure on yourself because sometimes all three may resonate. There is no right or wrong here. It's just whatever you're feeling. So I'm going to ask you again, go ahead and tune into your intuition. Or let me say this for those who are like, what do you mean by tuning into your intuition? Say this. Tell your spirit guides, because we read through our spirit guides here. So tell your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation, as it relates to which one to choose. Maybe see a number in your head and then trust that. Um, but even during a reading, all the readings actually, I feel like it doesn't hurt to ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation. Like you should feel it. This is a soul to soul type of reading. It's not a type of reading, it is soul to soul. So, uno, dos, tres. What do we choose? Um, all right, so each one, I believe, has six cards. I believe. Don't hold me to that. I'm going to bring this lid down. And we're going to go ahead and open up this reading. So I'll let you know what cards we're using as we go along. Let's start with one, move two and three up. So we are starting with Major Arcana. This is great to let you know what type of energy would really suit you moving forward. Lately I've been doing a lot of readings, like ending this universal year nine and really getting us ready for what I feel is going to be a magical time within 2026. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up talking about both. So, anyways, you Major Arcana, best energy. Let's go ahead and begin, and then we'll talk about it. All right, the Hangman. By the way, I have not looked at any of these cards. When I shuffle them down. If they come up, I put them back in the deck. I don't want to know. So the Hangman, pause in the action. All right. The Hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom. And for some of you, it could certainly talk about like all of a sudden I'm feeling this fear of moving ahead because is it the right thing to do? So I feel like some of you are having a hard time trusting whether to move ahead with something or maybe complete something. Again, that hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this physical plane. Now, this can talk about also, we'll see what the cards say, but it can speak about, something, it just wasn't something's time yet. All right, let's continue. So everyone has a Mother Mary, and you have integrity. Integrity. I trust my ability. Interesting to know what is true for me. I trust my ability to know what is true for me. Here's the hangman seeking that wisdom, and Mother Mary is kind of answering the hangman right back. Like you have that answer within yourself. You just need to trust that. Okay. So we're going to use the Tarot of Dreams. Four of Cups. So someone has some discontentment or boredom within their emotional world. That's what the Four Cups represents. Um, what it wants you to do though is learn to use your spiritual discernment. Remember it's a gift. And in the Four Cups, there is a cup coming in. You can see it in this one. That's good. So you see this cup coming in. This person is looking at that cup. Usually you'll see this person looking at the cups that have been knocked over. This person's realizing, hey, wait a minute, here's a cup. It's coming from the hand of divine, so I feel like this is something you can trust. It is a number 4. So think about foundation. But I feel like if someone was in the hangman seeking wisdom over an emotional situation, or maybe even whether to take this cup or not, to accept this cup. Mother Mary is just putting it right back on you. Like, trust your ability to know what is true. Because this cup is like literally coming from the hand of divine, I don't feel like there's anything to fear. Well, I shouldn't say that. Love can be fearful. But it doesn't have to be. Especially if, and that may be a little bit of what the hangman, why he's in this posed mode. Um, I have to get over the fear of what past love did to me, let's say. All right, well, let's keep going. So now nice. We're going to use the Psychic Tarot. Hello, Empress. Well, she's not afraid of love. And you know what? The Empress has no problem taking that moment of pause. Think about like the pregnant woman. This is the mother figure, right? She wants to carry that baby for full term. Like I may want, I mean, I remember being pregnant in your third trimester. You're like, ah, come on, baby, but the truth is you want those full 9 months if possible. So the only reason I'm saying that is because for some of you, this may be a cup that's coming to you, and it may not be meant to move quickly. So the Empress, remember, she's loving and nurturing. She has so much experience. And that is what she uses. Those are her tools. Like the magician teaches the fool. And we're always the fool on any new journey, any new path. We start as the fool again. Next year, 2026, we will all be the fool. So the magician, which is the year of the magician, teaches us the fool. You have all the tools on the table. I feel like if, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm picking up some single moms and can be single dads too. Um, Remember, we're both feminine and masculine, and it's really that balance is what we're seeking. So I could see taking time. So this is what I'm feeling. I feel this cup comes in. I don't feel like the Empress is fearful of it. I don't think she's going to say yes right away. I think what she's going to do is give it time, see how it develops. Because the Empress knows that I can change paths anytime I wish to, right? I'm not stuck on, like, I decide to put my toes in the water, but then the water's cold, so, you know, I may decide to change paths. I don't think that's what's going to happen. And I'm saying that more for those who fear, like saying yes to that cup, that it automatically, has to go long term. Now, I do feel like this is an opportunity for something that will be long term, but I'm trying to give it to you from the Empress's perspective. So I'm not fearful of it, but I'm not going to move quickly at the same time. Like, the Empress will know if this cup is true or not. All right, well, let's keep going. So we're going to use another psychic tarot. Oh my God. Hello, lovers. Wow. Right next to the Empress. And let me tell you, there's nobody who deserves it more than the Emperor and the Empress. This is the card of Gemini. The meaning of this card is a head over heart decision, but it literally says harmony in this deck. Hello, lovers. All right, so I want to take these three under. Let me just recalibrate. All right. So now we're going to use the tarot of the universal tarot. Ace of Swords. Okay, so first of all, the Ace of Swords at this table is my yes card. So if somebody came to me with a question, I mean, I would dig in deep. Don't get me wrong, like in a personal reading, just because I get this doesn't automatically mean yes. You got to read everything around it. However, it does speak about truth, real truth. And I like that coming under the Four of Cups. We have another universal tarot. We have the Page of Swords. Interesting. And then the last thing I chose was clarifying love situation. And even though it looks like it's in reverse, there's messages on both sides. So I took them the way they came out. And we have envy's turmoil, obsessed hearts and jealous minds brew a storm of unyielding chaos. Wow, that almost doesn't fit. It almost doesn't fit. So, somewhere along the road, and this is probably why the hangman is in this pause energy, but again, I love that seeking wisdom, Mother Mary is like answering this question very quickly. So I feel like those are in reading one. I feel like you dealt with someone who, let's just say, was of lower vibrational energy. I hate to use that term all the time, but I feel like it is someone who probably carried some immature energy. Now, is this the same person? I kind of don't feel like it. Because here's what I feel. And we will take the crystal vision over this, but this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this cup comes in for you. Honestly, I feel you're ready. Even if you don't 100% feel it. That cup is coming in is mirroring the lovers. So the one thing about the lovers is the chemistry. Like the chemistry is undeniable. And I feel like there's someone of, let's just say, in the background who probably doesn't want to see you like in this harmony, and that's coming again from, again, I want to say lower vibrational energy, but let's say immature energy that, it's like a kid who just didn't want to grow up. And that's their choice. That's their choice. But that's not stopping the Empress because the Empress has evolved. What reading did I just do? Where the Emperor and the Empress came out together. It was the last reading, I think. Ah, I can't remember. But it was the last reading I did. All right, let's bring in the Crystal Vision. I'm going to give them a quick shuffle. They're already pre-shuffled, just so you know. Let's go ahead and give them a cut. I find it kind of beautiful that the Four of Cups is mirroring the Lovers. And in both energies, it is about you making a decision. Four of Cups is reminding you that you are connected um, to your whole spiritual team. Like they are involved in your life. So that's where I would go, if I'm asking the question. Because I feel like this cup comes in no matter what. I feel like the chemistry is undeniable. I feel like the Empress is definitely ready. Um, I feel like the only hesitation is how quickly it moves. There could be someone outside of this who, tries to put their little fingers into it, so to speak. But I feel like they were yesterday's news, and this is about what is yet to be because that cup, right? Like they see the cup, but it hasn't quite reached them. So another way of saying that is I may be feeling like all of a sudden I'm starting to feel, you know, like I need to get ready for something. Wow, get ready for that cup. And it's not even like I feel like you need to get ready. I feel like just allow it to flow. I love that the Ace of Swords is here because I feel like it's truthful. So any communication I feel like is coming from the truth. Um, some of you could know who this is, and I say that because this could be like one of those situations where you get a phone call out of the blue. That's what happened to me. So for me, I can't leave that off the table, but I do feel that like there could be some kind of communication out of the blue. It could be someone you work with. It could be an old friend. All right. So we're not going to clarify every card, but I want to look a little deeper at the Four of Cups. The Hangman, I feel like I already know what that is. King of Cups. Wow. Got that cup in his hand. He's got that cup in his hand. So the King of Cups in the upright. This is someone who, when they fall in love, they want to fall in love for a lifetime. In reverse, it would be the opposite. This would be someone who gives their love to everyone else, or, a flirt like that. This is my ex husband. But in the upright, I feel very good about this king. Now it can mean water for some, um, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. But honestly, I feel like it's just talking about the type of person. And I love that this king has a cup in his hand. Okay. What else do we need to know? This reading went right to love. But I have to tell you, I feel like it went to love because I feel like the majority of you, I feel like you, I'm not going to say that you are like rich or, and maybe you are. But what I'm feeling is that your material world, your creativity, what you do in the world, I feel pretty good with that. Like, I don't feel like you need anyone to come in and help you with that. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why the Empress will take that pause because, it- like, I don't need you to come in and change my life. My life is pretty much together. Now, I'm not saying perfect, but it's pretty much together. Okay? Hello, world. Hello, next chapter. So, this tells you that something has come to completion and that something new is opening. And, it's interesting because we're putting it over the lovers, and I see that six, and it's reminding me of 2026. Doesn't have to mean that I have to wait. It may come in before that, but maybe in 2026, you're making a commitment. You know, this person is really meditating upon the world, but the world is on a lotus flower. And the lotus flower, if I remember correctly, goes into the water every night. And you think that would be the end of it, right? But every dawn, um, the lotus flower finds the sun again and rises to the surface. Looks like she's juggling. So this is the beginning for some of you of the rest of your lives. The completion, that could be a little bit of the hangman also. Mother Mary may be saying, have you truly closed the doors? The doors that just, you know, that you don't need to be in any longer. Remember, the Empress is someone who has, well, started like the rest of us, but has been seeking her spiritual side, her creative side. This is someone who is loving and nurturing. She has learned, and it is learning that I can't allow the people of my past, especially the ones, because I feel like this envy's turmoil is of the past. And I feel like the Empress would say, as I reach this certain comfort level within myself, that now I know, maybe before I've been allowing my past to affect, who I love and even what I was attracted to. Think of the Empress as a high vibrational being. Therefore, that's what must vibrate back to her. And I kind of feel like the Empress is ready for love. And when you feel like you're in the Empress's energy, and that just means, like I feel like the Empress has learned the lessons of all the queens. has gone down those paths, has gone through the dark night of the soul, but then was seeking the light, found the light, found the light within. This is someone who is naturally empathetic and compassionate, but yet other people can certainly take advantage of that and probably have. But now I feel this sense of knowing oneself and feeling strong within oneself. So whether love comes or not, I almost feel like the Empress is like, you know, I'm pretty good, but yet here it comes anyways. And it kind of feels like a cosmic reward. All right, let's take one more and we'll put it in the middle. We have the Four of Pentacles. All right, I'll tell you what I feel right away. I feel like the Empress will be looking at one's foundation. Is your foundation strong? And I'm talking like if I was the Empress to whoever this love is your foundation strong? I'm not looking for perfection, but I am looking for groundedness, truth, integrity. And I feel like that's a must. That's a must. But I feel like their foundation is strong. I feel like they're coming from a place of truth. I feel like they feel like what's the word I want to use? Like it feels mystical. It just feels mystical. And it's almost like this king, if the Empress does say yes, I just feel like you just made his life. I want to say you made his day, but you just made his life. Like I feel like these two, they probably both have gone through a lot. Um, but if you're coming in towards the Empress, then that means that you too have overcome. And I don't know that we're ever perfectly healed. I feel like we're left with scars. Um, but a scar is better than trying to continue to push a boulder uphill. I'd rather just take the scar. So I like this energy. I just feel like let's put it this way, because I feel like you know better than I do. Like, there has to have been someone in your life, if not multiple people, who, like, why? Who don't want to see you do well. Why? Well, I feel, and I shouldn't say do well, but I feel this energy of if I don't have happiness, then I don't want you to have happiness. If I don't have money, then I don't want you to have money. So you can tell the energy it's coming from. And the Empress is the opposite of that. I may have got pulled into your web for a moment or two, but I have freed myself. Otherwise, the world wouldn't show up. So it is the completion. It is bye bye. And it is opening up to what is next. Wow. Okay. This is why I say pick a reading instead of pick a pal because, you know, could make them shorter. But, all right, let's pick these up. See if I can do it with some type of. And we're bringing Number two into the mix. Number two, dos. All right, let's start with the major arcana. Well, hello, Temperance. Card is Sagittarius, first of all, but it's not how I'm reading. I was going to say today, but really ever. Though I do want to give you the signs, don't get me wrong. So, Temperance speaks of patience, but patience within divine timing. What I love about this image is it's very clear that she's mixing loving waters of two cups. And let's take Mother Mary, family, family. I pray for my family and give this situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. Well, it's kind of beautiful. It's coming next to Divine's energy. It's like the realization. They always know what's going on in our lives. Sometimes we just don't feel it. And, when it says family, I feel for some of you, um, it may be a healing over, like I'm seeing like this healing, like, I don't know, in my mind's eye, I see this healing over this home. All right, let's keep going. Well, hello, Palace of Cups. Wow. The waiting game. And there's Temperance asking for patience. It may be because what I'm looking for is a lot. The Palace of Cups. That's the ultimate in love. I feel like the palace is an energy we're shooting for. But yet, the waiting game. And, we'll see, but are you meant to wait? We'll see. We have, this is justice, called balance in this deck. Number 11. We have the Six of Wands. The Four of Swords. There's that healing you were praying for. There it is. And then we have Counsel's Compass. Seek advice to steer judgment as insightful talks illuminate your journey. Seek advice to steer judgment as insightful talks illuminate your journey. It's interesting because I feel like I have someone here who, and more than one, um, I feel like you're at that crossroads of, do I cut ties, or are things going to get better? I feel I feel like things have an opportunity to get better, especially with the Four of Swords here. Will it reach the Palace of Cups? Well, you have victory and success right below that. And I could even, for some reason, all of a sudden, I'm seeing some of you where, like, you talk about love, like maybe you do that for a living in some way. Like, I see you doing that. I feel like the waiting game, which is one of my least favorite cards, Especially just the image itself. It's like this person is going around this timepiece over and, or not a timepiece, what do you call that? But I mean, you can see like the trails, right? Like I've been here over and over and over. When is it going to be my time? And there's Temperance, the controller of time. And I feel like justice is some of you deciding whether you've had enough with something, and I do feel like it's, again, love. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic love, but this is about cutting ties. But remember, when justice shows, it's about making you whole again. And then this healing that shows up. So it's like your spiritual team is listening and sending this healing. So I feel like this is about a relationship, maybe a marriage that is teetering. And here's what I feel like if you're in the waiting game, like if someone's not being clear with you, the way they feel, if this is romantic love, like, how do you feel? Do you want to be with me or do you not want to be with me? Some of you may have set your intentions very high, which are fine, but not everybody can reach those such high intentions. And it's not that I'm telling you to lower your vibration. What am I saying? Like lower your expectations? But in a way, I don't want you to lower anything. I just want you to be real with yourself. And I think why I'm saying that is, families, even just love, it has problems, even the perfect love has problems here and there. Um, Yet I do feel like this is an opportunity for this family or this love to heal. But I feel like there is someone who has to, they have to play along. I definitely feel that this is saying also that some of you may have to like seek advice outside of the family, outside of the like like a marriage counselor or just a counselor, period. Some of you, I am your spiritual counsel. It's interesting because I feel like there's some of you here, and I'm trying to pinpoint it, but I feel like again, you do something, it's either out of love or you speak of love. And I feel like it is an energy where other people look up to you because of what you speak about. Like you're a natural healer. But it's interesting because I want to say, but doctor, heal thyself. And I get what that's saying, right? Like I tell you about Sam and I's relationship all the time. And listen, we're blessed to have found each other again. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect. We have our fights. Um, but nothing that I feel like we need outside help. So for maybe I am your spiritual counselor here. All right, let's look a little deeper here. So I do feel like there's an opportunity for healing over relationships. The Eight of Swords flipped around, beautiful. So Eight of Swords in the upright is a self-created prison, but it flipped itself around. And to me, that is a sign it wants to be read in reverse. It's freedom, baby. It's freedom. This, these are walls that we create from our humanness, not from our spirituality, right? Our spiritual being knows that we don't need these walls. Our intuition is our protector, along with Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. I could go on and on. Like all of a sudden, like all the archangels are like, and us too. So, this is you setting yourself free. And for some of you, it means your thoughts. What scared you before, you're not allowing it to scare you anymore. Why? Because I feel like you're trusting in your intuition. For those who have been in this waiting game period, I simply feel like that Eight of Swords now coming in reverse. If there's still the energy of someone telling me, well, you need to wait longer, I feel like you're not going to do it. I feel like you're not going to do it. Ace of Wands just turned itself around, but it stayed upright. So this is passion ignited. This is go time. Interesting how Mother Mary, Temperance talks about patience. And I feel like, let me just put it this way. I feel like if I've been waiting for someone to love me and they have me on this merry-go-round. Wow. My intuition is telling me that I'm not going to wait any longer. And why is that? Well, I feel like this Ace of Wands pointing directly up to those two cups. It's like that realization of, were you even a soulmate? Like, if you loved me, why would you keep me waiting? Why would you keep me guessing? So this healing, I feel, is more for you than anything. Now, I don't want to take away what I felt earlier. For some, I do feel like it's healing over the family. Um, even communication. But back to this message. I definitely feel the energy of someone is setting themselves free. And, it's like you're feeling the call of temperance. And again, she's mixing those two cups, the loving waters of those two cups. I don't feel like a true soulmate would keep you in this waiting stage. And when I say waiting stage, everyone has their own rights, right? If their right is not to make a decision. But you don't have to accept that, right? Because now your right is to no longer accept that. All right. So some of you are using that sword of justice. And Nine of Pentacles. Well, not only are you setting yourself free, but this is a very independent energy. So I can't help but feel that this message is more about not accepting energy that is playing mental games with us. I love that the Nine of Pentacles came out because this speaks about your independence, your ability to create true abundance for yourself. Like, I don't need, and it's not that you don't accept help, but this is like taking your, you know, let's say the pain of a situation. And that may be why I felt like some of you talk about love, like for a living. That's what you do. But now, seeing that, I feel like more of you have set yourself free. And then that Ace of Wands, that passion being ignited, but also speaks about go time. So if this person who has you waiting is not prepared to go into action, into a relationship, then I feel like it's answering that question. But this is not really even about like fretting over it because I feel like you can take these lessons and they have probably been hard, but then turn around and help others. You know, the Six of Wands is a great energy. It is victory and success, but it is about other people looking up to you because of action steps that you've taken. Well, here's the beginning with the Ace of Wands, right? That first step, that feeling within. And I don't even feel like you're doing like those who are saying no more to someone. I don't feel like it's because someone else has come in yet, because I want to go right back to those two cups. But something is telling me it's not the person in the waiting game or the person who has you waiting. Because I feel like you're going to claim independence, like you're planting your flag. And you're taking that wisdom and you're helping others with it. That's beautiful. And again, justice is what's fair and just in your life, right? It's about making you whole again. Let's remember this Eight of Swords at one time was in the upright, and that is a self created prison. But when it's reversed, it's freedom. It is freeing yourself. You know, and I love that it's coming over the Palace of Cups because it's not that you're putting a block on love. You're not. But it's like you now know, or you're feeling the difference of, like, what am I doing here? Why am I giving someone so much power over my life? You know, you either love me or you don't. And that's that. And if you do, then we'll be together. If you don't, just tell me and I'll move on. And that may be part of the problem. Like if I tell them, then they will move on. But yet, I feel like in a way they're stealing your happiness. Judgment, your spiritual team. It feels important. Okay, so interesting. The temperance talks about patience, and then judgment speaks about the present moment. Well, and coming under the reversal of the Eight of Swords, beautiful, because this means that you'll be free to hear the messages, free to feel them, right? Without all these blocks in front of them. Judgment says, get ready for a rebirth. Funny, I wasn't going to do every card, but I feel like this reading needs it. Oh my. Hello, Ten of Cups. And then the Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. And I love the Judgment is mirroring it. I feel like, I think I said in the beginning, like some of our expectations may be like extremely high. And you have every right to put what expectations out there you want. But it's interesting that the Ten of Cups comes out, right? When it started with the Palace of Cups, the Judgment, it's almost like it's like a little spiritual giggle. Like, I'm still going to show them the highest form of love. So the Seven of Pentacles, it tells me chances are these two cups were pre-planted. And who knows, maybe for some where I've been giving someone else all this time, yet, I feel like there's a real issue. Again, someone who is afraid of commitment. Um, there just feels like there's issues. And they're not your issues, but yet you may take them on as yours. And what I mean by that is this person can just have a hard time in love, period. And you're not meant to be their love teacher, so to speak. I feel like Judgment is saying, baby, you freed yourself and now get ready for this beautiful rebirth. I love the Ten of Cups with the Ace of Wands above it. To me, it may talk about like your heart chakra being activated because I do feel like these two cups have yet to come in. I don't feel like they're in the waiting game person. And, you know, I feel like if you were hoping that it was, then I feel like the Eight of Swords would be in the upright. But because it's in reverse, you're claiming your power. You're willing to give yourself a new beginning, right? You're becoming independent, but you're not less than, you're more than, right? This is the ability to take care of yourself. And other people, like, really paying attention to you. There may be someone special that Judgment has in mind. I know they're a soulmate. And, we have two cards that speak of patience. Seven of Pentacles is another one, along with Temperance. Um, but it's so certain seeds can come to fruition that they be full or whole, right? Like, think of this as like your apple tree, right? I'm not going to pick an apple before it's ripe. Well, because Judgment is calling you to the present moment, I feel like something is becoming ripe and it is one of your seeds. And your heart is going to be activated first. So you're going to feel it's like when you let go, and I also want to say real quick, this is reminding me again of the universal year 9 and truly reflecting like it asks us to, right? It's the year of the hermit. Well, Nine of Pentacles, card of Virgo, and Virgo's major arcana is the hermit. you know, and then planting those seeds from like fresh, tilled soil versus rocky, where it won't grow. I feel like your thoughts or the way you've been thinking are changing. And I feel like your spiritual team, they're doing their job. You know, like they're going to activate your heart chakra in the just the right time. Again, I feel like you're going to feel something. So this is an interesting one because I'm feeling quite a few different messages. Again, I feel like healing over a family. I do feel that. I even feel for even a relationship within family. I feel like there is an opportunity for healing. But for those who are dealing with someone who is here and there, communicates and then goes quiet, that's what I feel like you're not taking any longer. And I feel like your spiritual team is 100% behind that because there's someone else in mind. And again, it feels predestined. So those becoming single, like, don't fret. And I'm not even feeling that energy of like, maybe for a moment. But what I'm really feeling is like you're taking your experiences and you're creating from them and you're helping others. And here comes the seed of what I feel is true love. I'm going to go right in the middle. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But let's forget about that for a second. So this king in the upright is loyal. And I have a feeling that's a big component here. Like, like you must be loyal. And I don't want to have to question it. I don't think you're going to have to here. This is someone who is grounded. And I feel like that's an important component for you. I feel like this is someone who has their money together, has a job, probably a good paying job. I have a feeling this is your future person, male or female, by the way. And by the way, the King of Pentacles, when he looks at a situation, he looks at it from the big picture. And that may be calling for you to do that. But I feel like this is a sneak peek at who judgment and temperance have in mind. So, loyalty. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things. This is someone who will show you their love. I often feel the King of Pentacles is someone who may not say, I love you. Well, they will, but they're the type that want to show you. I did a podcast where I forget what I was talking about, but I said, like if you're in a conversation with this king and like you're talking about, like I have my crystals out and I keep thinking I need to get a little box or a little bowl for them. Well, the King of Pentacles would have heard that and thought to himself, I'm going to create her that box. I'm going to make that box with my own hands. I'm going to adorn that box. Right? So I may not even realize that I said that. Next thing I know, he hands me this beautiful box. And I'm saying me, but I'm you. So, okay, let's pick this up. And last, but certainly not least, number 3. Uno, dos, tres. Remember, I know 1 and 2 probably have left by now, but again, these messages are really brought to you by your higher self. Like I'm just channeling your higher self. All right. Major Arcana, the Hierophant. Beautiful. So, a number 5, change. The Hierophant, though, is about to give a blessing. The Hierophant, because it's change, it really just wants you to ask yourself a few questions. Especially if I'm connected to anyone else, like do our morals align? This is asking you, are you living life according to what feels right to you, your belief system? Mother Mary says, tenderness. I am both gentle and powerful. That's the Empress and the Emperor, really. Tenderness in the Hierophant. Hierophant card of Taurus. I don't know if I said that. But, okay. Hello, Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And this is about manifesting them. Interesting that we start with a 5 to read the Hierophant, who is about to give you a blessing. Well, that would make sense with the star right here. But it may be asking you to question certain things. What I'm wishing for. Let's say I'm wishing for love. Well, it's important, the Hierophant would say, that that your morals are aligned. Okay, well, let's keep going. Hello, 9 of Pentacles, again. Material harvest. Wow. Ace of Cups. It's like you have everything here. Hierophant, getting ready to bless you. Making a wish come true. Maybe more than one. This is not for nothing. It's because of your energy now. It's because that you do know that you're gentle and powerful. Like that is the Empress's energy. So how beautiful that you have the 9 of Pentacles, which the 9 of Pentacles, well, it says material harvest, but it's successful self-employment. It doesn't have to be self-employment. It could be a raise. But the thing in the 9 of Pentacles is you're the one who reaps the benefit of your hard work here. And then love. Well, number 1, this can certainly be a love for what you do. It's like when I do tarot, I love it. It is hard work. It takes all my energy, but I love it. And that's what I feel in the 9 of Pentacles. Like, it doesn't mean it's something as simple. It just means you're willing to put in the effort and you do see the fruits of your labor. So I feel like that's number 1. But let's also see, because we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Page of Wands, my risk taker. Oh my. Well, here is the one who delivers those dreams. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the tarot. But he moves slow on purpose. This knight brings you in a pentacle. And I never feel it's a one-time thing. It's like if you take advantage of, well, let's put it another way. So this pentacle is like a seed. And if you nurture that seed, it will only blossom and grow and blossom and grow. Kind of reminding me of the lotus flower again. This night tells you I come at the right time, not before and not after. This again feels like like a cosmic reward because I am feeling the energy of the Empress or the Emperor. And I feel like, number one, you're taking care of you first and foremost. And then we have eternal renewal in the cycle of life. Understanding breeds hope for what comes next. I'm going to read that one more time. Eternal renewal. It sounds like lifetime after lifetime. In the cycle of life, understanding breeds hope for what comes next. Well, the star card is also the hope card. And what comes next is right under the ace of pentacle or the ace of cups. Wow. You know what I'm feeling? I am feeling that more and more of you are understanding the importance of reflecting this year because you're understanding that you're truly creating the next 9 years of your life by the seeds that you plant. And if you plant them from the energy of, let's say, the emperor or the empress, just think of the abundance that's going to come back to you. So this Knight of Pentacles who tells you, I come at the right time. It's almost like a wish coming true relating to your money, but also love is beginning. I mean, that's literally what it says. And this is talking about what comes next. Well, it's connected not only to the ace, but the knight. The page before this is what I call my risk taker. I often feel the page of wands is like my fool. And the reason why is this is someone who has learned that, you know what, I get knocked down sometimes, but I get back up again. I get back up again. I get back on the horse. So it feels like you're ready. All right, let's bring in the crystal vision. King of Wands, but reversed itself. Um, can be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. I really don't have any of that on the board. You know, the King of Wands in the upright is someone who is usually in movement. You know, this is someone who moves according to their passions. But being in reverse makes me feel the opposite. So I don't know if this means that this king is not part of this new beginning. And I say new beginning because we open with a 5. And remember, that Hierophant is blessing you, but in quite a few different ways. But so is the Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like the Hierophant is telling the Knight they're ready. Look at that, 6 of Wands in reverse. What's going on with all these wands in reverse? Man, I feel like this King of Wands did not believe in your creativity. Like, this is someone I feel like who may have said the words like, you won't be successful. But listen, you may have taken those words and said, just watch me. And whether you said that or not out loud, I definitely feel like you felt it. Just watch me. Justice. Goodbye, King. Goodbye, King. Again, the Hierophant's asking, are your morals aligned? They're not. Do we have similar goals or outcomes in mind? Like saying, I want to create a good life, right? I want to have the money. Doesn't mean I want to be rich. I mean, if you want to be rich, in the Nine of Pentacles, you can be. But I feel like you are using this sword of justice and this king. It doesn't even feel like a question to me. It's just like, goodbye, goodbye. And it just may be not just a king, it could be anyone, right? Anyone who just doesn't believe in you. You may be a go-getter, and this person may be the opposite, because normally this king is in action, but in reverse, he's not. He's not helping a dream come true. If anything, he's coming in between you and certain dreams. But these are dreams that you can build without anyone. I just feel like goodbye, King. We have the Nine of Swords. So that is worry. It's a lot of worry. But the meaning of the card is unnecessary worry. I feel like some of you know that now. And look at this. Look who's in the upright. The Queen of Wands. Right over the Knight of Pentacles. So she's the one who's receiving these blessings. She's the one who cut out the king. And I'm saying king and queen, but again, just put yourself wherever you fit. This is just someone who I feel like, number one, I feel like she's a risk taker. And I feel like she's had enough of people not believing in her. So she had to believe in herself. But that's exactly what she did. And this is why the Knight of Pentacles comes in, right? I come at the right time. Well, I feel like because this queen is free, she's free from the naysayers. Let's just put it that way. She's free from those who didn't believe in her. Why? Because she believes in herself now. And you are being rewarded because of that. Doesn't even have to mean that I know exactly what I want and I know exactly where I'm going. No, I may not, but I'm going to start taking some chances. This is again my risk taker. And I feel like by the time we get to the queen or a king's energy, not this king because he's in reverse. Like now I have learned, like, let's put it a different way. Like, I don't judge myself on the things that have not gone right because they probably all taught me something. So I'm letting go of other people's opinions of me. And that's exactly what I feel like your spiritual team wants to hear. Four of Swords, healing. Healing. Interesting, the Four of Swords is mirroring the Nine of Swords. I have to be honest, I don't feel like the Nine of Swords, that all this worry, like I'm not feeling that it still exists. So if some of you are like connected to, let's just say naysayers, people who don't have your best interest or don't see you for who you truly are, I feel like you're eliminating that energy and you're trusting yourself and you're going for it. And I feel like you're going to reach it. Whatever you go for, I feel like you'll reach it. The more you trust within yourself and understand that your spiritual team is right there with you, helping you every step of the way. I feel like this healing, I love that it's connected also to the Ace of Cups. And let's face it, with the King reversed and then mirroring justice, it's asking you to use that sword. Now, that is free will, right? But to me, this is simple. Like those who tell me I can't, I won't, um, well, all they have to do is watch. But in a way, I feel like I don't even want them in my life. Like I feel this sense of like I want my life. All right. I feel like I want to go. Well, all right. We have the Five of Swords. These all came in reverse. I'm going to keep them that way. We have the Devil, card of Capricorn, and then we have the Queen of Cups. So all in reverse, but the majority of them are good in reverse. The Five of Swords, toxicity. But now in reverse, you don't have to deal with that anymore. Toxic people, toxic communication. Sitting next to the devil, unless it's Capricorn for you, that speaks about temptations, illusions. Someone may have tried to keep you in an illusion, but I feel like you broke free from that. And even the Queen of Cups in reverse, you know, like when you break free, I don't feel like the first thing you think about is love. Interesting how everything is coming in reverse. Do I have my deck in reverse? I don't. Eight of Cups. Ah, and the Five of Wands. Interesting. Okay. So I feel like someone has given someone a lot of time, and almost like I've been caught in their web for quite a while. I feel like we're dealing with someone who not only has a lot of ego, but not very good communication skills. Like a yeller, a screamer, like a my way or the highway type of thing. Well, I feel like here you're choosing the highway. I don't mind these all being reversed because this is what I would expect. I feel like the only thing that I worried a little bit about is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Have you found emotional clarity? Like what I would say here is, we can't let this type of energy get in the way of what our soul came here to do, to create, to experience, to love, right? And, even as we go through love, lower vibrational love, it's teaching us, right? Number one, it teaches us what we don't want. And that's an important thing to know. Like, I know what I do want, but do I know what I don't want? I don't think this has been easy, but everything feels like it is blessing you because of action steps that you've taken, because you're reclaiming your power, you're reclaiming your life. This Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles underneath that. Like, that is what you're capable of. But it feels like all this bullshit, so to speak, got in the way. But it doesn't feel like anymore. Not only do I feel like you use the sword, I feel like you heal so quickly. And healing it's not an overnight thing. We heal as we go. But I feel like who's ever here, I feel like it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear what you're thinking, what is part of your dream system. And I feel like you're understanding energy now, right? If I want these dreams to be part of my reality, then there's certain energy that it's calling for. Like, let's get rid of that Nine of Swords. Let's allow our thoughts and our heart to heal, our soul. This lower vibrational energy. And I know I keep saying lower vibrational energy, but it's just the humanness of us, right? But until we realize that, we are spiritual beings, that we are planting our seeds of intention will determine what our life looks like. We have that power. We are the co-creator. So this star, it's not miracles. It's what's well deserved. And I definitely feel like the Hierophant given this blessing. I feel like it's for you. But it's like a spiritual congratulations on the work that you have done, on how you have raised your own vibration. And now this is saying, just open yourself up to what lies on this new vibration. It's abundant. It's full of love. There's not ego. I'm not going to say that if this is even talking about love coming together, again, it's like, how do I keep saying the same thing, but like, it's not about perfection because we'll never find that. I feel like here, this is talking more about someone who has really learned the art of reading energy and understanding like this, the importance of planting those seeds. And if you plant those seeds and nurture those seeds, well, like, hello, harvest, but harvest in every way. It is like you are feeling good. You are feeling good. And it is like nothing can get in your way. Like, I feel that about you now. And it was not an overnight success. It was through work, through realizations, through knowing that you deserve right? The highest form. But to have that, I myself must be that. But now you know that. And now, here come the benefits. Here they come. Okay, I'm going to let that be holy reversals. But they told their own little story. All right, so there is our pick a card, pick a reading, really. Um, I'd love to hear your comments. If you enjoyed it, please think about liking and subscribing. And something else I want to say for those who subscribe, because a lot of people are like, I don't get your messages and that. There's a little bell that has to be rung. Like it when you hit subscribe, it puts that bell at, I think, basic. I don't know what it says, but right above it says all. And that, of course, is your choice. But that's why a lot of people do miss um like notifications of a new reading, or if I'm doing a special or what have you. So anyways, wow, this is really one of my favorite readings to do, probably one of my least popular readings to do. I don't know why, because I feel like you're getting three really good readings. Though I do want to say, I should have paid more attention, but did all three of them come together for you? Especially in that third one, because, wow, you want to talk about reaping benefits. All right, I'm going to stop talking. So, as always, I thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.